She told me she was going to her mom's house. Said she needed time to clear her head. I believed her. Brought her tea to the car and kissed her forehead before she drove off. A few hours later, I realized she left her purse behind. Thought she might need it. So I drove to her mom's place to drop it off. She wasn't there. I found her. With someone else. And not just anyone. A street cleaner. Sitting in the cab of his garbage truck. And she was on his lap. Her name is Lauren. We've been together 4 years. Living together for 2. I loved her more than anything. More than I loved myself, if I'm being honest. She used to say I was too good for her. That I was too kind. I thought that was her way of saying she felt safe with me. Turns out she meant too gullible to catch on. It happened on a Wednesday. She said she was going to her mom's for the night. Said she needed some space after our little argument the night before. It wasn't even serious. I'd asked her if she was happy. That's it. She looked at me strange and said, I don't know. I need air. I felt bad for asking. So when she packed an overnight bag, I didn't push. I even made her a thermos of chamomile tea and tucked a blanket into the passenger seat. She barely looked at me when she left. 2 hours later, I saw her purse on the kitchen table. I texted her. Hey, you forgot your bag. Want me to drop it off? No reply. I figured she was with her mom, probably talking things through. So I grabbed the purse, got in the car, and drove across town to her mother's house. Her mom opened the door in a robe and looked surprised to see me. She's not here, she said. I blinked. She told me. She hasn't been here in weeks, her mom said. I thought she was with you. Something in my chest cracked. I got back in the car. Tried calling Lauren again. Straight to voicemail. I didn't know what I was doing. Just drove. Aimless. Around the city. Through old neighborhoods. Past the gas station where we used to get slushies. Past the dog park where we said we'd adopt a puppy one day. Then I saw it. A green garbage truck. Parked awkwardly behind an old diner. And in the cab, 2 silhouettes. I slowed down. It was her. I saw her profile first. Her nose, her mouth, her hair. She was laughing. Tossing her head back like she was 16 and in love. Then I saw him. Wearing an orange vest. His face unshaven. Hands stained from who knows what. He was holding her waist, and she was straddling him. She kissed him. I stopped the car in the middle of the street. I didn't honk. I didn't yell. I just sat there. They didn't see me. Or maybe they did and didn't care. Eventually, I drove off. The purse was still on the passenger seat. I rolled the window down and tossed it out at the next intersection. Her lipstick rolled into the gutter. I didn't go home that night. I didn't go anywhere. I just drove, feeling like the dumbest man alive. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Every time I blinked, I saw her laughing in that truck. Her legs wrapped around a man who smelled like diesel and rotting food. By morning, I convinced myself there had to be a reason. Maybe she made a mistake. Maybe it was a breakdown. Maybe she was drunk. I still loved her. I couldn't just erase that. So I waited until the sun came up. And I went home. She wasn't there yet. But her car pulled in at 9:12 a.m. I was sitting at the kitchen table, staring at the wood grain like it might offer answers. She walked in, saw me, and froze. Then she smiled. Wow, she said, tossing her keys into the bowl by the door. Guess someone couldn't sleep. I didn't say anything. She opened the fridge, grabbed a yogurt, peeled it open like it was any other day. Don't you want to ask where I was? She said between spoonfuls. Or are we doing the silent martyr thing? I saw you, I whispered. She paused, spoon still in her mouth. With him, I added. In the truck. There was a full 5 seconds of silence. Then she laughed. A slow, smug, mean laugh that echoed through the kitchen like a slap. Oh, that, she said. I figured you'd see eventually. You're always watching like some sad puppy. Why? I asked. Why him? She tilted her head. Honestly? Because he's not scared of me. Because he doesn't ask me if I'm happy like some therapist. Because he doesn't tiptoe around me. But he collects garbage, I said, instantly regretting how pathetic that sounded. She raised her eyebrows. Yeah, and? He smells like sweat and work. You smell like dryer sheets and guilt. I was going to forgive you, I whispered. I wanted to. She smirked. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. I still love you, I said. That stopped her. For a second. Then she shook her head and said, You're not in love with me. You're in love with the idea of me. The one who used to hold your hand at flea markets and talk about adopting dogs. That version died a long time ago. I felt like someone had carved a hole in my chest and left it there, wide open. She walked past me and dropped her empty yogurt cup into the trash. I should go shower, she said. Unless you want to smell him on me too. I didn't answer. Couldn't. She turned at the doorway and looked at me like I was a broken appliance she no longer needed. You really thought you were enough, she said softly, almost pitying. And then, with a cruel smile, she added, you're just so easy. Then she walked away. I didn't move for hours. I sat there in the same chair, surrounded by the same walls, breathing the same air she poisoned with that one word. Easy. I didn't cry. I thought I would. After everything she said, after watching her walk past me like I was wallpaper, after hearing her laugh at my love. I thought I'd break. But I didn't. I just sat there, numb, quiet, thinking. By the time the water from her shower stopped running, I already knew step one. She thought I was easy. She said I was safe, that I'd never fight back, that I'd stay in my lane and lick my wounds. That was her mistake. The first thing I did was open the drawer in the hallway, the one where we kept our important documents, insurance, taxes, car payments. I dug through until I found the phone bills. I took a picture of every page from the last 6 months. Then I went online and downloaded the call logs. She had a burner phone. I knew it. There were too many numbers that didn't match any contacts. Dozens of late-night texts, always after midnight. Always when she said she was taking a bath. I created a spreadsheet. Call duration, time, date, number. I didn't know what I was going to do with it yet, but I knew I'd need it. Next, I went to her side of the closet. Found her laptop bag. She always said she never let her work computer leave the office. But there it was, tucked under a sweater. I opened it. No password. Her arrogance again. Inside were dozens of folders. Work invoices, design proposals, client photos, and one folder named Home in all caps. Inside were pictures. Some of me and her. Some of her and him. I didn't look through them. I just copied everything to a flash drive. Then I opened her browser history. She'd recently looked up how to change names on apartment leases and legal steps to remove someone from a joint rental. She was planning to kick me out. Quietly. Legally. She'd already started scanning utility bills into her own name. I backed those up too. I didn't touch anything else. Didn't slam a door. Didn't leave fingerprints. That night, I slept on the couch again. She came out of the bedroom around 11 p.m., fresh from texting someone in the bathroom, and stood in the hallway. You're still here? She asked. I nodded. Huh, she said, like it amused her. Suit yourself. Then she went back to bed. I stared at the ceiling, holding the flash drive in my palm like a weapon. I wasn't ready yet, but I was learning. I was watching. And the version of me she thought she broke? He was gone. The new me didn't cry. The new me took notes. And the new me was going to make her remember exactly who she tried to destroy. She didn't notice a thing. That's what struck me the most. For the next 3 days, she walked around the apartment like I was a ghost, scrolling through her phone on the couch, giggling at messages she didn't try to hide. She even started leaving the front door unlocked at night, like she wanted him to visit. Maybe he did. I wouldn't know. I stopped checking, not because I stopped caring, but because I started acting. On Friday, she went to a spa appointment. She left her email open on her laptop. She forgot I used to be in IT before I took that boring admin job. I installed a discrete keylogger. It fed her every typed password into my cloud folder. Within an hour, I had access to her main email, her cloud drive, and even her shared document history with her employer. And there it was, a single PDF invoice. An interior consulting project billed under a fake name, with a P.O. box as the address. She marked it as freelance. But the payment? Deposited into our joint checking account. She was running side jobs. Probably under the table. Probably illegal. And she was using our shared finances to launder it clean. I printed 3 copies. Then I went to the bank. Closed our joint checking. Moved every dollar into my private savings. The one she never touched because she once said numbers stressed her out. She'd notice soon enough. But not before I made sure she couldn't undo it. Back at home, I replaced her car keys with a nearly identical backup. Hers had a chipped battery. The replacement? I clipped the inside wire. Looked the same, but the car wouldn't start without a jump. I watched her from the window the next morning as she tried to leave for her yoga class. She got in. Turned the key. Nothing. She tried again. Still nothing. Then I saw her call him. I saw her pout. Saw her lean on the steering wheel like a child. She came back inside 10 minutes later, slamming the door. Did you mess with my car? She snapped. No, I said calmly. Why would I? She narrowed her eyes. The keys feel different. They're yours, I said, sipping coffee. Maybe it's just acting up. She stormed past me. I watched her from behind. That was the first time she looked unsure. That was the first time she didn't smirk. That night, I overheard her in the bathroom whispering on the phone. He's acting weird, she said. Like calm, but not really. It's freaking me out. Perfect. The next day, I dropped an envelope at her office. No return address. Inside, a single page. The fake invoice. And a sticky note. You're not as clever as you think. She didn't mention it when she got home. But she didn't sleep in the bedroom either. She stayed on the couch. Her eyes were open most of the night. Now it was her turn to lie awake, wondering who she was really living with. I should have seen it coming. The moment I gave her even a glimpse of fear, she did what she always does. She didn't retreat. She escalated. It started with the apartment. I came home from work Monday evening, tired but calm, planning my next step. The building doorman waved me down before I got to the elevator. Hey, sorry man. I'm gonna need your keycard. What? Your name's not on the lease anymore. I laughed. Thought he was joking. He wasn't. Management got updated paperwork today. Lease transfer. Signed by both tenants. I blinked. That's not possible. He shrugged. Said it's legal. She showed ID. Signed electronically from your address. I sprinted to the leasing office. They showed me the file. My name. My signature. My ID. All forged. All submitted from my laptop. She used the keylogger I installed. She'd turned my move against me. I was officially removed from the lease. I had 48 hours to contest it, or get out. And that wasn't all. I went online to check my email. Locked out. Every password reset request went straight to her backup address. Same with our shared streaming accounts, utility portals, even my Spotify. She took it all. Then came the message. From her. Just one sentence. Told you not to play games with someone better at them. I didn't reply. I couldn't. I was locked out of the apartment, half my things still inside, and legally I couldn't step foot on the property without violating the lease agreement. She didn't just outplay me. She erased me. I went to stay with an old friend across town. Slept on a mattress in a tiny spare room surrounded by laundry hampers and unopened Amazon boxes. That first night, I stared at the ceiling for hours. She won. Everything I built, gone. And all because I got cocky. All because I thought I was finally in control. But even then, broken and humiliated, a thought crept into the back of my mind. She was moving fast. Too fast. Why? Because she was afraid. Of what I still had. And what I knew. I still had the flash drive. I still had the burner phone logs, the photos, the illegal invoice trails. But most importantly, I had nothing left to lose. The next morning, I started digging. I called her former coworker. The one she hated. The one who got promoted instead of her. I told her I had a story. She said, I'm listening. Her name was Jessica. She used to work with Lauren. Same team, same title, same grind. But when promotion time came, Jessica got it. Lauren didn't. Lauren called her a backstabber. Said she played politics. Truth is, Jessica was just smarter. So I called her. Told her I needed 10 minutes. She gave me 45. We met at a coffee shop near downtown. She wore her hair up and her blazer sharp. I recognized the look. It was the armor of someone who's been underestimated too many times. You said you had something about Lauren? She asked. I pulled out the flash drive. More than something. I showed her the freelance invoice first, the one Lauren had hidden from her employer. Then the phone logs, calls to clients Jessica had personally referred to the company. Except Lauren had taken them off the books. Jessica's eyes narrowed. She was poaching, she whispered. I nodded. Using company contacts. Billing clients directly. Pocketing the money. Hiding it in our joint account. Jessica leaned back. That explains why she kept showing up in new shoes while claiming she was broke. She also tried to frame me. I added. Forged a lease. Hacked my email. Fake documents. Jessica didn't flinch. She just smiled. You want revenge? She asked. No, I said. I want exposure. Same thing, she said. By the next morning, Jessica had forwarded the files to HR, legal, and the head of the client division Lauren used to work under. She used her own name. Her own account. No aliases. 24 hours later, I got a message from a blocked number. You made a mistake. That was Lauren. I didn't reply. Instead, I sent her one sentence. Your former clients will be contacting you directly now. Because Jessica had done something brilliant. She included every client Lauren ever poached in a mass disclosure email, anonymized, of course, but with just enough detail that any one of them could recognize their own invoice. And some of them did. One of them, apparently the biggest fish, was now threatening to sue her for deception and breach of contract. It gets better. That same client? He had already reported Lauren's freelance invoice to the IRS. Jessica called me that night. You just cost her about 30 grand, she said. And that's before the fines. Good, I said. She's panicking, Jessica added. I heard from someone in legal. She called 3 times today, begging to clear the air. She thinks this is over? I asked. Jessica laughed. It's barely started. That night, I slept better than I had in weeks. Not because I'd won. Not yet. But because she finally understood what it felt like to have someone take apart your life piece by piece. She thought I was nothing. Forgettable. Disposable. But now? Now she was the one being erased. I should have known she wouldn't stay silent for long. It started 3 days after the client fallout. I was feeling something close to peace again. Jessica said Lauren hadn't shown up to work. I thought maybe, just maybe, this would finally end quietly. I was wrong. I woke up to 47 missed notifications on my phone. Texts, emails, mentions. Then I opened social media. She'd posted a video. It was her, sitting on our old living room couch, hair loose, no makeup, red eyes. The caption read, I stayed silent long enough. Here's the truth. I watched. In the video, she looked directly into the camera and told the world I was emotionally abusive, that I've monitored her movements, stole her data, and used technology to control and humiliate her. She showed screenshots, messages I sent her after I found out about the affair. Cropped, twisted, pulled out of context to look like threats. She said she was afraid for her life when she kicked me off the lease, that she never felt safe again after the envelope appeared at her work. She told people I ruined her career out of revenge. And then she cried. I sat there, frozen. It had over 12,000 views within hours. The comments? A storm. Typical controlling guy. He sounds dangerous. Sending anonymous threats to her job? Sick. Some of my old friends shared it. A few added their own captions. Never thought he had this in him. This is heartbreaking. My inbox filled with people asking what really happened. One person I hadn't spoken to in years messaged. Tell me it's not true. Please. I didn't know what to say, because truth didn't matter anymore. Only the version she told. She played the game better than I expected. She'd weaponized public sympathy, framed herself as the survivor of emotional warfare. And me? I was just the bitter ex. Jessica called me that night. She's trying to beat you in the court of opinion, she said. She's winning, I replied. No, Jessica said. She's rushing. You scared her. That video was fear disguised as strength. I'm losing everything. Jessica paused. Then it's time, she said. We go all in. She told me to wait. That she had one more card to play. Something I hadn't seen yet. Something Lauren left behind when she left her job in a hurry. The next morning, Jessica called again. I found something, she said. Something she forgot to delete. And when you see it, everything changes. I didn't ask what it was. I just said, send it. I opened the file. And everything I thought I knew about Lauren, every lie, every trick, every plan, suddenly looked small. Because this wasn't just betrayal. It was something bigger, something that could end her. The file Jessica sent me was an internal email chain, 3 months old, marked confidential. It showed Lauren had leaked a competitor's pricing documents to a third party while still employed. The emails were between her and a man named Bryce, who worked for one of their rival firms. She sent him cost sheets, quote structures, and even login details to a client dashboard. All of it came from her company account. Jessica had downloaded the full thread before Lauren's access was cut. She kept it, just in case. This was beyond side work, beyond poaching. This was corporate espionage, a federal crime. I didn't send it to Lauren. I didn't threaten her. I forwarded it to her company's legal team. And then I waited. 20 hours later, Lauren deleted all her social media. The video? Gone. Her profiles? Blank. Her name? Scrubbed. She disappeared like she never existed. Jessica called me that evening. They're filing formal charges, she said. Internal investigations done. They have timestamps, attachments, digital fingerprints. It's airtight. What happens now? She could lose her license. Her clearance. She'll never work in that industry again. I didn't smile. I didn't feel triumphant. Just still. For the first time in weeks, the storm inside me stopped spinning. Then my phone buzzed again. A number I didn't recognize. I answered. Why? Her voice. Quiet. Flat. Almost hollow. Why would you do this to me? I didn't reply. You got what you wanted, she whispered. I lost everything. My job. My reputation. People think I'm a liar. I waited. I wasn't always like this, she added. You know that. No, I said. I didn't. You think this makes you strong? She asked. You think destroying me proves something? It proves, I said, that I finally stopped letting you win. She hung up. No threats. No final words. Just silence. I thought that would be the end. But then, 2 days later, I got a call from Jessica. You need to see this, she said. She sent me a screenshot. It was a message Lauren posted anonymously in a private online forum for professional women seeking crisis support. It was her. I knew her phrasing, her tone. In the message, she admitted it all. Affair. Fraud. Leaks. But at the end, she wrote, there's one document he doesn't have. If he finds it, I'm done for. Completely. I read that line over and over. She still had something hidden. Something she thought I couldn't find. Something worse than everything that had come before. I didn't know what it was yet, but I knew one thing. If I found it, this wouldn't just end her career. It would end everything she built. Her image. Her story. Her mask. And this time, there would be no coming back. I looked everywhere. Emails. Cloud drives. Flash backups. I even combed through old apartment router logs that I was able to recover with a forensic tool. Still nothing. Whatever she was hiding, she hid it well. And in the meantime, she showed up again. Offline, it was still scrubbed. But legal. An email from a lawyer arrived in my work inbox. Formal. Aggressive. Cleanly written. Lauren had filed another lawsuit for damages. This time, alleging unauthorized access to personal data, breach of digital privacy, and, somehow, career sabotage through collusion of third parties. They claimed I had coerced Jessica into revealing the spy file. They painted me as a manipulative ex who used another woman's hurt feelings to create false allegations. It was clever. Twisted, but clever. They weren't arguing with the facts. They were attacking the intent. The case was filed publicly. And just like that, her story changed again. I went from silent victim to obsessive saboteur. And people believed it. The video may have disappeared, but the screenshots remained. The threads resurfaced. Reddit exploded. Anonymous accounts popped up with captions like, "Revenge is not justice. He ruined her life because she didn't want him. She was winning again. She found a new narrative, a new angle, and wrapped it in enough legal structure to make it seem real." Jessica called me. "It's not about the lawsuit," she said. "It's about perception. She's changing the battlefield again. Then she wins," I said quietly. "I have nothing left." That night I sat in the dark, staring at the blank wall. She was going to walk away. Maybe not from the lawsuit, but from everything else. She would rebuild. Maybe under a new name. Maybe in a different state. But she would survive. And I'll always be the one who went too far. But then, at 2:14 a.m., I got an email. No subject. No body. Just one attachment. A one-page PDF. From an anonymous sender. I opened it. And I stopped breathing. It was a signed affidavit. From her former boss. Dated 8 months earlier. It confirmed that Lauren had manipulated internal files to deprive Jessica of a promotion. She had accessed her personal HR folder, altered performance metrics, and filed a bogus ethics complaint anonymously. She never went to trial, because her boss had agreed to handle it quietly. And there it was. Proof. Intentional sabotage. Fraud. Workplace harassment. With her real signature. One piece of paper. One document. The one she thought I'd never find. That was the but. If I use this? No back, left. No recovery. No narrative strong enough to survive this. She's not just going to lose her case. She will lose everything. I didn't sleep. I stared at the document for hours. I read it 20 times. Every line. Every detail. The signature. The timestamp. The boss's name. The line where it said, "Employee Lauren M. accessed internal personnel files outside authorized scope." I forwarded it to my lawyer at 5:23 a.m. By 7:15, he called me back. "This is it," he said. "If we submit this, she's done. Legally, professionally, publicly. She'll lose everything." What happens first? Perjury investigation. Retaliation review. Defamation case collapses. Possible criminal charges for data tampering. I nodded, holding the phone with both hands like it might bite me. I'll prepare the motion, he said. You sure you're ready for this? I hesitated. Then, yeah, do it. That day moved like a dream. My lawyer filed the motion. The court clerk time-stamped the submission. We notified the opposing counsel. And then, as if summoned by some invisible thread, she came. Not through a phone. Not through a letter. In person. I heard the knock at my door around 10:42 p.m. I opened it slowly. She was there. Hair wet from the rain. No coat. Eyes red. Makeup smeared. Nothing like the woman who once strutted past me like I was invisible. She stepped in without asking. I know what you found, she said. I didn't answer. I know what it means, she whispered. Still nothing from me. She stepped closer. Her lip trembled. Then her knees buckled. She dropped. Right there. On my floor. On her knees. Her hands shaking. Tears falling freely. Please, she said, barely breathing. Please don't do this to me. My heart didn't pound. My hands didn't shake. I just looked at her. Quiet. Steady. Everything you said about me. I started. I know, she sobbed. I was wrong. I lied. I was angry. I didn't think you'd fight back. You tried to ruin my life, I said. And when that didn't work, you tried to ruin my name. I know, she whispered. And now you want mercy? She looked up at me, eyes desperate. Please. If this gets out, I'll lose my license. I'll never work again. I'll lose my family. I'll have nothing. You already took everything from me, I said. You didn't just cheat. You made the world think I was a monster. I was scared, she cried. You were calm. Cold. I thought you were going to destroy me. I didn't respond. I just watched her. The same woman who once looked down on me like I was soft. Now on her knees. Begging. Real tears. Not performance. She knew she was finished. And she was ready to do anything to stop it. I stood there, silent. Then I turned to the counter. Took the folder with the printed affidavit. And slowly, I fed it through the shredder. She gasped. Covered her mouth. Sank further to the floor. I don't forgive you, I said. She nodded, crying harder. But I'm done playing your game. She looked up. Relieved. Confused. Speechless. I opened the door. She crawled to her feet. Walked out without another word. No hug. No thanks. No closure. She was gone. And I was alone. But finally free. And now, what would you have done in my place?